All right, here we are at Solitude for the IFSA 1-star comp. I was in the Snowbird IFSA 1-star FWQ comp last week. Did horribly, messed up my first air, went down, got through the finish line with both skis on, and as I like to say, I didn't die, get injured, or lose a ski. So it was kind of a success for my first comp. Got that out of the way. Hopefully this one I have a clean run. The snow conditions I think are good. We'll see. It snowed 34 inches in the last 3 days, and I think it snowed 12 inches yesterday. It didn't look like there was high winds like there was at the Snowbird comp. It snowed a bunch and then the wind just blew all the snow off. So it was super variable, but hopefully today we get some really nice soft snow. So I think I might use the Revolt 114s, even if it's not powder, because it was open all day yesterday. I think they'll be way more stoppable. They're 191s, they're wider. I don't want to break through the snow a lot. So yeah, we'll give those a shot. I have some horrible shin bangs, so I'm going to be taking some ibuprofen, a few hours before, an hour or so before I go. And then I'll have to be taking a rest from skiing for a while to make sure that doesn't get worse. Yeah, I'm excited. Don't really know what I'm going to do, but I've watched a lot of videos of the venue, looked at the terrain. There's like some pretty obvious features, and it's a lot less like a hard venue as West Baldy. West Baldy, there was a lot of options. It was probably a lot taller as well. I think this is kind of your standard Black Diamond run with some features on it. Okay, so here's the venue. It's on Powderhorn 2 lift, and it's on the Vertigo run off of Eagle Ridge. Which is cool because you can sit in the lodge right at the base, as well as you can see the event right off of Powderhorn too. And then here is the venue with the features. You have Box Cliff to the top left, then Wannabe Cliff, and then Fat Betty. Fat Betty is probably the largest one. Wannabe, it's kind of hard to tell how big it is, and then Box Cliff, that was, maybe a 6-footer or something like that. I didn't really know what beanbag was. The tower jump was kind of a big roller. Crescent was this kind of big rock that you could take either from skiers right to left or come right off the top. And then there was kind of a cool cliff right on the lookers right of Christmas Tree. And then the extra credit was this little kind of kicker or jump. In terms of comparing the 3 major features, which would be Fat Betty, Wannabe, and Box Cliff, Fat Betty, although it's the largest one, the landing looked pretty flat. Same with Wannabe and Box Cliff, so I think the landings on all of these are pretty flat because the run is just not that steep. I will also say that none of these features would be considered big. I heard Fat Betty compared to Standard Air on the Silver Fox venue at Snowbird. To me, none of these seemed too big for me. However, I really didn't like that you had to traverse from the start all the way over to the skier's left for Fat Betty. And I thought the judges might dock you for that. However, it seems like they don't. I wish they would just move the start gate to the middle of the venue. That would solve that problem. Okay, so in terms of planning my line, I decided that Box Cliff was going to be the main feature in my line. I decided to hit it from the skier's right because that felt more natural because I'm goofy, so going in with my right foot forward feels more safe. Then I was contemplating hitting some small little rollers or bumps, straight fall line, but I was kind of lured in by this little tree drop that was maybe 2 to 3 feet, and that proved to be my downfall. because it was a little bit of a traverse and it really messed with the flow and energy of my run. My general plan for the run was to hit these kind of small features and hit them as deep as possible with as little hesitation as possible, and focus on skiing as aggressively and energetically as possible. Okay, so here's my run, start to finish unedited.
Are you ready?
Yep, ready.
3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, so just finished up my Solitude comp. I got a clean run this time, which I'm super happy about. The venue was in great condition. The snow was pretty soft. People were hucking it. I didn't see probably the winning run. We'll see if it was the winning run, but a guy did a huge backflip over another cliff and then just straight lined it to the bottom. He was done in like 30 seconds. I'm assuming that's going to be the winning run. My run, I executed on it pretty well, but didn't have the energy that I had in my mind. I saw my middle feature, somebody had filmed it, and it was pretty weak sauce.
Working his way now through the middle section. Taking a nice...
like embarrassing. So, yeah, but it's good to see for improvement. My top feature felt okay, my bottom feature felt alright, but I had a lot of little teeny turns going into my middle feature. In my mind, it was just going to be one big swooping GS turn to 20-foot send it launch. That did not happen. So I don't think I'm going to place super well. I don't know, maybe top 20. I would be ecstatic with anything in the top 15, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm like 30th either. Wasn't a lot of crashing, so I don't know. I'm kind of pissed off at myself, but happy at the same time that I finished with a clean run. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But it's always a good time. Didn't get hurt, and so yeah, we'll see. I got a long ways to go. It feels like improving my hesitation and stuff, and it's really important that I get some film, because I feel like I have the technique to be able to put some cool runs down, but I don't know. It's really hard to see how that translates from your mind while you're skiing to a third-party perspective. And I think I need to see a lot more video of myself to get a feel for the kind of energy and amplitude that I should get. So anyway, a lot of improvement needed, but yeah, it's always a blast. I think that's one of the things I like about competitions the most is you get to put yourself up with somebody else. It's not this idea of what you have in your mind of like, oh, I sent this huge cliff, and then you look back on it, you're like, wow, that was not huge. Sometimes you don't even have the opportunity to look back. So that comp kind of helps with that in terms of you're judged by people that they don't even know me, So they really have no incentive to really help me out or like give me a break and then judge me, you know. So it's a good gauge, and hopefully, you know, every time I go skiing, I can focus on that energy, you know, sending things deeper than I think, making less turns, hesitating less, and improve my skiing. Anyway, I think I'll sign up for more comps next year if I can, just to keep that progression going and also to stay in shape. I was pretty gassed on my middle feature, which probably was part of the issue. Is I had the thought in my mind like, oh man, my legs are burning. I don't know that I'm going to be able to stop this. And that's not really a thought that I want to be having in the middle of my run. The first one, I'm not sure I went deep either. I definitely felt the landing was heavier than I expected. I got pretty far down in my squat, and it took me like a second or so to get out of it. And then the last one I thought was fine. Last air, I swooped straight into that one, so I felt pretty good about that one. But and then I accidentally missed the extra credit because I went too far. I don't know. All I wanted when I started this comp was to get a clean run, and then when I saw my middle feature, it kind of broke my heart. That was me skiing, to be honest. So I gotta fix that. Anyway, there we go.